A very good evening. I'm Brian Banda with this week's edition of Times Exclusive here on Times Television. Glad you could join us tonight. The program is coming to you courtesy of Rainbow Paints.
Wow, I think K-Pitch looks amazing on that wall.
The electric blue calls it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
My guest tonight is His Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Malawi and President of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. Your Excellency, we are profoundly honored. We are not shaking hands, but we can just do this.
Yeah, the pink eye disease.
Pink eye disease,
That's
yeah.
right.
But we want to thank you once again. This is the second time we are coming. We were here last year, and we want to thank you for opening your gates so that we can come and see you. How are you doing, Your Excellency?
As I said before, Mikasa Sukasa.
Mikasa Sukasa.
So feel at home.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
But my second part of the question is,
Yes.
how are you doing?
I'm very, very well. I'm well and very excited about things in this country.
Yeah. How has been your stay in Mangochi?
That's been very, very nice. Here, it's almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
The people here have received me very well. You know, we have a village around here and we interact all the time when there are funerals. Go there and we help them sometimes.
Yeah.
Last week when my nephew's wife died, and we buried her at the HHI cemetery.
Yes.
Two of the chiefs here came all the way.
Okay.
The chief here and the group village headman came all the way to Banda for the burial.
Yeah.
So that shows the kind of rapport we have here. So I'm quite happy here. But as you know, I also live in Banda actually.
Okay.
I have a house in Banda. I live most of the time here, but I also spend quite a bit of time in Banda.
Okay.
So I live in both places.
Talking about that funeral at HHI, your picture trended on social media.
Is that right?
Yes, the people were asking the rationale of you seated on a chair in the cemetery. Did you see those comments?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
I was supposed to sit on the floor?
I don't know, but people were just surprised that you sat on a chair in a cemetery.
What's the surprise? Where was I supposed to sit?
And that's why I'm raising this, because I didn't know that you saw those comments.
No, I didn't see them, but if they're made, I think they're totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
I sat there. There are many people who sat on chairs,
Yeah.
Both at the home in Chileka and also at the funeral there. We all sit in chairs. All the funerals I've been to, and even the head of state, or the funerals he attends, they sit on chairs.
Yeah, even at the cemetery.
Even at the cemetery, as far as I know. So I don't know what the issue really is. I think it's one of those pointless, unnecessary, gratuitous criticisms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about DPP and the rest to 2025.
Right.
You have now come out in the open to say you are running for the presidency of the DPP,
Yes.
and you are optimistic you'll be the torchbearer of the DPP in the September 2025 elections. Can you confirm that that's the decision that you have indeed made, that you are running?
I think I already made that very clear. I announced at the NGC meeting in December, I heard in Kampala Bay that indeed I've accepted the call and the endorsement of the National Governing Council, but also the endorsement of party leaders in all the 4 regions of this country, that I will indeed be a candidate for presidency of the party at the convention in July. Now, I hope I win at the convention, but I intend to contest at the convention in July, and hopefully, if I'm elected, I'll certainly contest for the presidency in September next year.
What has changed? Because in the beginning, people were of the view that you would let your lieutenants battle it out.
Yes.
That's what we heard in the beginning.
Correct.
So what has necessitated this change? That
Yeah.
because when we came here a year ago, you had not made up your mind.
Correct.
So what has necessitated this move?
In fact, it took me a year to make up my mind. The same way it took me a year to decide in 2014 whether to contest for president or not. So that time you're quite correct. I'd said that time that I'd done my part and that it was time to look at other things. But as you know, there's been a groundswell of support all over the country from all sectors of society, from the party, from chiefs, from civil society, and other people. Faith community asked me, that may be the way things are in this country. Maybe I'm the best person to rescue this country. It's very clear that this country is on the path of destruction. I don't think there's any question about it. And I think most people feel that I'm the best person to do that. And people thought it was a duty to serve the country when the country needs somebody. So it was really in answering that call that I decided that I'm going to stand again. It's not that I'm craving for this. I've been there already. I was there for 6 years.
Yeah.
I know what the job is like. So I'm not craving for it. But I was simply responding to people who feel that, if you love this country, then I think I must come to its rescue. And that perhaps I'm the only person at the moment, at least in the party anyway, who can defeat the present regime. That's why I agree that I was going to contest. It's the call of the people.
This country is headed for destruction?
Yes.
That's what you have said?
It is, yes.
What kind of destruction?
Well, economic destruction and obviously a failed state. It's very clear.
Malawi is a failed state?
It is, of course. If it is, a country which cannot print its own passports or print its own driver's licenses or feed its people, it's a failed state, yes. So it's a failed state, there's absolutely no question about it. And we need to rescue this country. I'm sure you've seen the World Bank last week and IMF, which said Malawians are the saddest people in the world. They're the most unhappy, the most miserable people in the world. That's a sign of a failed state. When no institution is working, you cannot pay your bills as a government, and the people cannot buy food or access medicine in the hospitals, and that kind of thing. When you have those kinds of things, indications, it means that it's a failed state. That's what a failed state is.
What is it that you want to do that you did not do in those 6 years?
Yes. Well, many things obviously to continue with what we started. Certainly to continue with rebuilding this economy, as we did. Gudogonda and I, may his soul rest in eternal peace, we inherited a broken economy after Cashgate in 2014. And we spent hours, sometimes we meet at Sanjika Campus Palace especially, until 4 in the morning every day, looking at the fiscal spirit, at the fiscus. How can we build this economy? And we did succeed. We succeeded. The story is there. Reduced inflation to almost 11%, below single-digit inflation actually. Interest rates were down. Exchange rate, reserve, the largest reserves in the history of this country. When I left, 1.1 billion US dollars. Never happened before. and it hasn't happened since. We did that. And so I would like to set in to rebuild the economy, but I would also like to pursue some of the programs I started. For example, the question of empowering the youth with community technical colleges. I think that's a key. No country can develop without skilled people. No country. That's why I started community technical colleges. When I left, we had built, I think, about 20. It's a pity that the present government has ignored those projects.
Community colleges.
Simply because I started them.
Okay.
So they decided to ignore them. I would like to expand that. The issue of cement, Malayan cement subsidy.
Yeah.
I thought a key program that makes sure people have permanent houses with, brick or blocks, cement blocks, and iron sheets. We don't leak, or we don't collapse when there is a hurricane or cyclone, for example. If you had strong houses, most people will not have been swept away, houses, during Cyclone Friday. So I want to introduce that program, and I hope in 15 to 20 years, this country, everybody will have a permanent house, real house with iron sheets, bricks.
Which year is that?
In about 20 years.
Okay.
It can be done.
Okay.
It can be done in 20 years. Of course, other people will continue.
Yeah.
My plan then was about 15 years. I thought in 15 years it would be done. When I left, I think we had built about 150,000, I believe.
Okay.
How we can check that houses, permanent houses. And they decided to abandon that program. I would like to reintroduce that program. And of course, infrastructure, the road system, rail system, air transportation. I would like to do that again. So there are many things I would like to do to move this country forward, which I did not get a chance to complete. Also, food security, for example, irrigation. We administered the input program for poor people, but also irrigation. That's why I started the Chile Valley Transformation Program. That was my program. The idea was to turn the whole Chikoa and Nsanje into a breadbasket for the rest of Malawi. Those are things I would like to continue if I'm voted back into power.
So you're saying you have been compelled because of the support that you are receiving from people.
Correct.
And it's an overwhelming support.
As far as I know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you have been in this country. I'm sure you have seen all the endorsements, the clips, people in the villages who are saying that we want APM back because at least when you were here, we were able to eat something and the cost of living was not this high. I'm sure you have seen those things.
I'm glad you have raised.
Unless you have been living somewhere else.
No, I have seen some of the things that you are referring to.
Good.
But do you think if you were still the president, the economy could have been better? Because the global economy has changed.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're finished?
So the question is,
Yes.
these economic changes are global.
Right.
Do you think they could have spared Malawi because you were the president?
Well, the challenges are global.
Yeah.
There will always be global problems all the time. There are always global problems, and they happen all the time. That's part of the process of living. But you see, your job as a government is to try to solve those problems and not try to find the blame somewhere. Now, of course, we had the Friday thing, and we had the COVID-19. But so do many other countries in the world who have
Because you are sympathizers.
But they're making progress.
Yeah.
You go to Tanzania, you go to Mozambique, you go to Zimbabwe, even with the sanctions there, you go to Mozambique. All the surrounding countries are making progress. They also had cyclones there. They also had COVID there.
Yeah.
They also had Ukraine war there. So the point I'm saying is policies that you adopt to solve problems. The job of the government is to solve problems. That's why governments are, there will always be problems as long as there are people. And it's the job of the government to solve those problems.
Yeah, but your supporters have made reference to, for example, prices of basic commodities, sugar, when you were leaving State House,
Right.
they said it was at that particular price.
Correct.
Now it's over 3,000.
Right.
Do you think those prices could have stabilized until today?
I believe so.
You believe so?
Yes, I do.
Fuel could have not risen in prices?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think we'd have found a way to manage it. With rising fuel prices during my time,
Yeah.
we're able to reduce the cost of fuel. Remember that?
Yes.
Twice we did that with our program, so we would have done that. You see, it depends on what policies you develop to solve problems. I believe, I really do, that if I'd continued in power, that the exchange rate or all the fundamentals or macroeconomic fundamentals
Yes.
would have continued to be the way they were when I left the government.
The kwacha could have still been trading at that particular rate.
Not
against the-
necessarily at exactly the same rate.
Yeah.
I think it was 7.12 when I left.
You
Not
left it at
necessarily there.
7 and 12.
Not necessarily. Currencies always fluctuate.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the economy that currencies do in fact fluctuate. And prices do always go up, obviously. It's the nature of the economics. But they will not have been at the rates that we have now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the current government? What are the things that they are doing wrong, in your opinion?
Well, I think the inability to have a sound fiscal policy, I think, and probably monetary policies. I think those are the things that they're not able and unable to control the macroeconomic conditions like inflation, interest rates, exchange rates, and all those kinds of things. I think they're not managing very well. I think they need people. So the means of finance. I think they need perhaps somebody who really has the capacity to understand the way Good Ogondwe did.
Yeah.
Understand the economy, not only the domestic economy, but also the global economy. Because the two intersect, they
Yeah.
interact,
Yeah.
they work together, and you have to understand both. You see, and it may be that perhaps some of the people there don't quite understand how the global economy works and how it interacts with the domestic economy. And that may be the reason why they are having these problems. But I hope they improve now that they go to the ECF. But I'm told that the ECF is not being managed the way they were expecting. It's a year now
Yeah.
after the ECF was signed, and apparently they are not able to manage it very, very well. But I think they're trying their best. I wish them well, for the sake of the country.
Yeah.
I don't take pleasure in their failure. No, in the failure. No, I don't. I feel sorry for the country. So I wish them well for the benefit of the country. That's all.
But your government was not that perfect. People, we have talked about it, people marched against your government.
Right.
And they talked about rampant corruption
Right.
and nepotism. So you cannot stand here and look like an angel.
I've never said I'm an angel.
Yeah.
There is no perfect government, of course. There's no perfect government.
Yeah.
Just like there's no perfect leader.
Okay.
You'll never find a perfect government or a perfect leader. So if Malaya is looking for a perfect leader, they'll never find one.
Okay.
But there's no such a thing.
Okay.
But what I'm simply saying is that we tried our best. I'm sure we made mistakes. But as I said when I left Sanjika Palace, on that day I think it was June 22nd, to come here to Mangosh, I said that I wish the new government well, that we did our best. Maybe sometimes we made mistakes,
Yeah.
obviously as human beings. But if we made mistakes, it was not out of evil. We meant well for this country.
Including nepotism.
Which nepotism?
People blamed you that your government was nepotistic in nature.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can you give any examples?
No, they
Did I appoint my children or my cousins Nepotism means you appoint your relatives. Did I appoint any of my relatives in the government? Did I send my children to embassies or to positions in the state house or ministries? Can you give one example of nepotism that I practice? Well, nepotism means actually appointing your relatives in the government. Can you give any examples where I did that?
What about those?
So you should just listen to what people say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your definition of nepotism is family.
Yeah, that's the way I
What
understand
about tribal belonging?
the way I understand nepotism means family, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about tribal?
Okay. Maybe you can include that if you want to.
And
So what?
you are spared from that?
From what?
Tribal appointments.
Well, I appointed people
Yeah.
from all tribes all over the country. I appointed Chief Justice from the north. I appointed Army Commander from the north. I appointed Inspector General from the center. I appointed Director of SCB from the north. I appointed the Deputy Inspector General from the north, from Chidema, and so on and so forth. And I also appointed some people from the south. I don't think there's a rule that because I'm Lomwe, for example, I should not appoint Lomwe people. Yeah, I don't think that should be the case. I appoint people who are qualified, whether they're Lomwe or they're Tumbuka or Ngonde, I appointed, like the examples I gave you.
Yeah.
In embassies, of the 18 ambassadorships, they're equally people from the north, people from the center, people from the east, from the south. You can check. Go and check with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It was equal. I did that. And if you look at the number of appointees in my civil service, actually, those are appointed from grade A to grade E. The 5 grades, those are appointed by the president. From F to R, they're appointed by a Civil Service Commission.
Okay.
You look at the statistics by time. The majority of people in the A to E grade were from the north, followed by the center, and in the south.
Okay.
You go and check. In the government, you find the statistics there.
Yeah.
So the whole idea that I was appointing Lomwe is complete baloney.
Okay.
It's baloney.
It's baloney.
It's baloney.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's you standing.
Yes.
There will not be last-minute changes to say, I think it's not me. Then you are sure you are on the ballot come September 2025.
If I'm nominated,
Yes.
if I'm elected at the convention
Yeah.
in July.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
What about alliances? If you are nominated and you are the torch bearer for the
candidate.
DPP, the
Yeah.
candidate for DPP,
Yeah.
will you go into alliances?
I don't think so. I think we have the capacity. We have enough support. I think we can win on our own. In 2009 actually, with 2 parties against DPP, we got 67% of the vote. In 2009, on the basis of the performance of the government between 2004 2009. I believe we performed well, and it's up for the people to judge. And I think we can win on our own. We can get 50 plus 1% on our own without an alliance.
You're sure about that?
So yeah, I'm sure about that. So we have no plans for alliances.
So you're not talking to any political party?
No, we're not. Those stories you hear are absolutely not true.
What stories? What stories are you?
Whatever I saw you hear that I'm talking to other people
Yes.
are just not true.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not any party you are in talking terms.
In terms of alliance.
Yes.
Of course, parties talk to each other.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all sort of trying
Who has
to
come here
the
from?
best for this
Who
country.
has visited you recently from other political parties?
Nobody.
Not Inoki Chehana?
No.
No?
No. Absolutely.
Because sometimes we hear that maybe you and Afford might go together, and maybe UDF as well.
No. Chigana has never been here.
Chehana has never been
No.
here, but you have been talking to him.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
What about UDF?
No. We have not been talking.
Okay.
But remember, we were in alliance before.
Yeah.
So
You are no longer in alliance now.
No, we are no longer in alliance.
Okay.
But I know the former president, the chair.
Yeah.
Our chair.
Yeah.
I know him very, very well. We are friends. So we do talk all the time.
What are you talking to a chair?
We just chat about things.
Okay.
We're friends. We have known each other for a long time, and we always talk. But not politics, but things in general.
So you're talking things in general with the former president, Bakiri Muluzi?
Yeah, we do talk. Yeah.
What about Dr. Joyce Banda? You talk to her?
No, not really.
Not really?
Not really.
Why?
I don't have her telephone number.
Should I give you?
Okay. All right.
So when I give you, you're going to talk to her?
Okay.
Is there anything that we don't know
About what?
about you and your relationship with Dr. Joyce Banda? Because when I talked about the former president,
Yes.
you were very glad. Your face was happy to say that you talked to the former president,
Yes.
Dr. Bagiri Muluzi. What's wrong with Dr. Joyce Banda?
No, there's really nothing wrong.
Okay.
I don't think so. There's really nothing wrong at all.
Okay.
It's just that we haven't talked for some time. But
And
no,
you don't have her number?
No, I don't have her number.
Okay. But I thought elsewhere, former presidents, they talk and discuss issues.
Well, like other countries? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But I'm sure there are some countries in Africa that don't. I don't mention them.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're
There
talking
are
about.
countries in Africa where some presidents don't talk with former presidents. The others where they do.
Okay.
It depends on the dynamics of the relationship between the two individuals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the decision that your party, the DPP, made in firing Konrad Nankrumah and others. Do you think that was a fair judgment?
What do you mean?
I just mean that.
Fair judgment to dismiss them?
Yeah.
Well, of course, they went through the process. There are rules in the party.
Yeah.
Every party, every organization has rules. Where there's an organization to play ball or whatever,
Yeah.
there are rules.
Yeah.
And those rules must be followed. And if a person does not follow those rules, then they cannot be members of that organization. Now, in this particular case, you know the story. You had a situation where certain individuals clearly violated the constitution of the party by holding an illegal National Government Council meeting, which they were not supposed to do. So they were brought before the disciplinary committee, and there was a full hearing, full due process. They were allowed to appear with their counsel if they wanted to, and there were those hearings. After the hearings, the disciplinary committee made recommendations. Some expulsion, some suspension, some stripping them of offices and so forth. Made those recommendations to the Central Executive Committee, of which I'm chairman as president of the party. The committee met and accepted the recommendations, most of the recommendations, with some modifications, and that's what happened. So there was nothing unfair about it. The law was followed to the letter, the law of the party, which provide that people must, obey, respect the party, respect the leadership of the party, and not undermine the party.
Are you not therefore regretting, Your Excellency, that
What?
some of the members that you either fired or suspended have resorted to joining Malawi Congress Party, for example?
No, I'm not regretting.
You're not regretting?
Not at all.
Why?
Well, because people are free to join any party they want.
Okay.
Yeah. There's freedom
But I
of
thought
association
politics is
in this,
about numbers.
in this country. There's a freedom of association. Is provided in the Constitution. So people are free to join any party they want to join.
But I thought politics is about numbers.
It is.
These
yes.
are people that are leaving
Of course.
the party.
Of course. Of course.
How do you intend to replace those numbers?
I don't think we need to replace them.
Okay.
But we have people coming in the party. They're it's about, I think it's about 7 or 8 people anyway
Okay.
who have left and joined. As far as I know, only about 5 or 6 have actually joined the MCP. 5 or 6 at most.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about huge numbers of people. We want to talk about huge numbers. Unlike, for example, 2012, after my brother's death, when so many people went to PP in parliament, out of 114 members, 93
Yeah.
went to PP, one left with 33 people or something like that. That was massive defection. Even the Secretary General left, the first Vice President left, the Administrative Secretary left, and everyone left and went to PP, and of course some people came back. But we still won the election. We still defeated PP in 2014.
So you're optimistic?
This time there are no mass defections.
Okay.
Just a few individuals, maybe 5 or 6, who have left and gone to MCP or other parties.
So you're optimistic that come 2025 September,
Yes,
DPP will win those elections?
absolutely.
Absolutely?
There's absolutely no doubt whatsoever.
Where are you getting your confidence?
If they're fair,
Yeah.
if the elections are fair and they're not rigged, we're going to win the elections.
What is your definition of a fair election?
A fair election is one that's of that transparent,
Yeah.
where people are allowed to vote freely,
Yeah.
and where there's no rigging. That's what a fair
President
election is.
Chakwera speaking in Kasungu this week, he said that he's aware of others that are planning to rig the 2025 elections. What was he referring to? You?
I don't know. I saw that in the newspaper.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about. I said he's not talking about DPP because DPP has no intention whatsoever of rigging any election. An election must reflect the will of the people, period. Either people elect you or they don't. If they elect you, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. It's not the end of life.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no need to rig an election.
Yeah.
And frustrate the will of the people. No, we cannot do that. In fact, if you talk about rigging, I think what is happening now in registration, that's a form of rigging. That the NRB is deliberately registering people in the central region, in the areas where there are more people. In the south, like Mlange, Cholo, they are almost under registration. They are creating conditions, machines are breaking down, the distances to registration, there's almost no registration there. That's rigging. That's rigging.
Okay. And
If
what are
ever
you-
there was one.
And what are you doing about that?
Well, we have complained about it.
You have complained about
Yes,
it?
we have.
Okay.
That's rigging, and we'll continue to complain about it. That's rigging, and of course there are stories that some people, I don't know who these people are. I understand there are some people who are planning to register about 500 people on the Sangano side of Mozambique, and 500 people on the Mozambique side of Chiringa, Palombe, of 1 million people, register them out there and bring the ballots into Malawi, let them vote in Malawi or something like that. There are stories going on. I don't know who these individuals are, but you hear those kinds of stories. Now, I'm hoping that will protect the integrity of this election.
So in your opinion, you
yes.
think the national registration card
Yes.
is not should not be the only identification for those registering to vote?
No, it should not be. You know, the national identification card was only started in 2018.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm the one, my government is the one that actually instituted the ID card system. Actually, it started in 2009 as means of justice. I introduced the legislation to have a national ID card, but we were not able to implement it until 2016. That's when we had the ID card. Before that, we had all sorts of forms of identification for voter registration. Now, what has happened now? The registration now is facing so many challenges that many people will be left out. The Constitution provides for universal franchise. Every person who is qualified should be allowed to vote. The way it's going now, if you use the ID card only, many people will be disenfranchised. They'll not be able to vote.
Why not go to court then, if you're not comfortable with that?
Well, we will see. Let me just finish this.
Yeah.
We will see. For example, the interpretation by the Attorney General, that actually, what it means, that you must physically have the card with you to register as a voter. That if you have a receipt, if you're registered but you haven't received your card yet, that you cannot register. I think that's wrong. What we need to do is what we did in 2016. 2016 to, of course, to 2018, 19, that you have 2 windows in every facilities.
Yeah.
People come register, get an ID card, and they go to this window and also register as a voter. Immediately do that. But I think we also need to, because of the fact that registration has been so, incompetent at the moment and flawed, we need to allow other forms of identification, as we have always been doing in this country before 2016. So we should allow, for example, passports. We should allow driver's licenses or a letter from my chief as a form of evidence of your age, evidence that you are Malawian, and that those should be used for voter registration. Otherwise, I think it will be a farce.
Let's take a short break.
Okay?
We'll be back with you, Your Excellency.
All right, thank you.
Well, in case you're just joining us, this is Times Exclusive, airing on Times Television. I'm Brian Banda. Tonight, I'm joined by His Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Malawi, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. We'll take a short break. We'll continue our conversation tonight in a moment.
Wow. I think K-Pitch looks amazing on that wall.
The electric blue cuts it for me.
Come on. Look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
You're watching Times Exclusive here on Times Network. I'm Brian Banda. Tonight, my conversation with the former President of the Republic of Malawi, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. Welcome back to the second half and our last half of our conversation tonight.
Thank you.
I wanted to understand your understanding on how Parliament has handled the issue of the leader of opposition.
Yeah, it's rather disappointing in a way, because Section 35, Standing Order 35, makes very clear that the party outside Parliament, outside government, with the largest majority of members, selects the leader of opposition. That's what the law makes very, very clear on that. That's what we did. We select the leader of opposition, we send the name to the speaker, and the speaker acknowledged, and he sent a letter of invitation to a meeting to Dr. George Chaponda, MP, and the following day she changed her mind and said that on an injunction, and therefore that she recognized the former leader of opposition as the leader of opposition. And that's what happened. Now, this is very surprising. Now, she said that she got an injunction. But you see, Parliament is independent. The 3 branches of Parliament are independent of each other. And of course, they work together also, but a measure of independence. Parliament has control over its procedures, over its rules. It's very clear. It's there, both in the law, but in the various acts of Parliament. The Speaker is not bound. I don't think he is. I don't think the Speaker is bound by an injunction from the courts, because she has control over procedures and processes in Parliament. And we follow the processes, Standing Order 35 to the letter. So I'm very, very disappointed, very, very surprised the way it has been done, but that's the way it is now. And as you know, the matter is now in the courts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what is it that is there between you and Dr. George Chaponda? You seem to put his name again and again in Parliament for the leader of opposition. I just want to understand your closeness and why Dr. George Chaponda all the time.
No, it's not all the time. That he was a very effective leader of opposition in 2012.
Okay.
After the former president died.
Okay.
I decided not to take the position of leader of opposition myself.
Okay.
And I asked Dr. Chaponda to act in that capacity, and I was made his advisor. And I thought he did a commendable job.
Okay.
So this time, when the issue came up, I think there was odds among many people in the party, members of parliament, they think that Dr. Chaponda, because he has a track record,
Okay.
is the best person to lead the opposition, that's all.
And why did you settle for Mere Navicha?
No, what happened was because of the fact that now the speaker did not accept Dr. Chaponda.
Yeah.
And because of an injunction, which mentioned apparently Dr. Chaponda's name,
Yeah.
we thought maybe then if with somebody else,
Okay.
you know, that will make a difference, that person will be recognized by the speaker.
Okay.
Because we thought it was personal to Dr. Chaponda.
Okay.
But apparently the speaker decided also not to.
Yeah, my question is
not to
why
recognize
Mere Navicha, not Samia Suleiman or
because
others?
she's a senior member of the party.
Okay.
Yeah. She's one of the senior members of the party.
The people that we have talked to, Your Excellency, from the Democratic Progressive Party,
Yeah.
they say that they love you,
Okay.
they love the party, but sometimes they don't like your association
Yeah.
with some of the people that are close to you. People's name comes quite often.
Okay.
Chimwemwe Chipungu, Norman Chisale, and others.
Okay.
Are you aware that,
No.
that some people are not comfortable with your close association with these people? I don't know what they have done, but I just wanted to understand from you.
I've seen something in the paper to that effect.
You've seen something in the paper?
I saw something in the paper.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what happens in this country, is that whoever is supposed to be quote unquote close to the president,
Yeah.
whatever that means, people don't like that person,
Okay.
unless it's themselves. We can go back in history. During the Banda regime,
Okay.
they always blame Honorable John Tembo
Okay.
as the person who is misadvising the president.
Okay.
During the time of Bakay Moose, they were blaming Dumbulema.
Yeah.
During the time of Bengu, they were blaming...
You probably?
Me, but to some extent, but mostly they were blaming Muri, I think.
Okay, okay.
Sorenga.
Yeah, yeah.
During Joyce Banda time, they were blaming Ephraim Kivundi.
Yeah.
During my time, they were blaming those people, and now again, and during the time of Dora Chakwera, they're blaming Chimwendo Banda and others.
Yeah.
Maybe Nkaka,
yes.
the people who are misadvising the president. You see, so it looks like you know, whoever is supposed to be close to the president.
Yeah.
Some people don't like that person unless it's themselves. No, let me just say this thing.
Yeah.
That people are saying, oh, these people are mistaking the president and so forth, as if the president cannot think. I think for myself.
Yeah.
I have a PhD in law from #1 university in the world. I can think for myself, I have brains. I don't sit here and have to decide or somebody come tell me what to do.
Okay.
That's the implication, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong and it's unfair to these people.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I think for myself, and I know what to do. The trouble, those people don't know me. They have never worked for me, so they don't know me. But you ask all the people who have worked for me, they'll tell you how I make decisions. Nobody tells me what to do.
Nobody tells you what to do?
Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
What?
I make decisions myself. I might have advice from people.
Yeah.
I might listen to advice, but advice is advice. Advice is not an order.
Yeah.
But I make the decision myself, believe me.
So all those stories we heard when you were in power,
Yes.
they were your decisions.
Yes.
Nobody told you what to do.
It's complete nonsense. It's my enemies who, for whatever reason, resent me. Some people resent me simply because I was out of the country for a long time.
Yeah.
Some people resent me because my brother was president.
Yeah.
And they don't like another member of the family to be president.
Yeah.
So she started all these stories
Okay.
about how there was a disaster at the Ministry of Education, how there was a disaster at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, how there was a disaster at the Ministry of Justice. You go and look at my record. It's my detractors. You go at my record and see what happens in all those ministries, what happens. I'm the one who introduced the concept of National Council of Higher Education.
Yeah.
I'm the one who did that, introduced that. I'm the one who introduced the concept of having a credit reference bureau.
Yeah.
And so many things in this country, which never happened before. I did those things in those ministries. And I'm the one who resolved the issue of the British High Commission. I'm the one who resolved it. But they go around and say, oh, he did that, he did that. He failed at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Again, it's complete baloney. And I think it's the attitude some people have in this country that we never wish each other well. When somebody is doing well, we don't like it. And I'm sure there are people who say bad things about you because they don't like your success. That's the problem we have in this country. That's why I think in the national anthem they talk about insania and so forth as one of the diseases in this country.
Yeah.
We need to get away from this mindset of always trying to blame somebody, of being unhappy when somebody is successful.
Yeah.
We need to get out from that, otherwise we'll never get anywhere.
Yeah.
With this kind of attitude, in 2063, we'll still be the way we are.
Yeah.
With this kind of attitude, we'll never get anywhere. So we need to get away from this and then look at things positively instead of always negatively. Always find something to try to find a fault with somebody. Always trying to find someone to blame. We cannot go on doing this. 60 years now.
But my question
we
is,
haven't got anywhere.
My question is coming back to the earlier question to the people that are referred to.
Yes.
You can confirm you are still very close with these people.
Whatever you mean by close. I'm close to also people.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by close. People work for me. You have to work with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have assistants, in our job.
That's right.
Any organization, you have got to have some people work for you. That's just the way, or work with you. That's the way it works. You cannot work alone in a vacuum. But when you have people working with you, people should not turn their anger or jealous against those people. It's wrong, and it's not fair.
Would you agree that sometimes people abuse their positions? Their closeness with you?
I don't know. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
No, you have just given me specific examples.
Okay.
That sometimes when people are close to a leader, they abuse their positions.
I never say that.
No, I'm telling you that are you aware that some people that are close to you, they might do other things that you are not aware in your name?
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
It's quite possible. If the people...
I'll give you an example.
If people do things that I'm not aware of, I have no way of knowing.
I'll give you an example.
Yes.
The cement saga, for example. Isn't that the abuse of your name?
Maybe, I don't know how you want to call it.
Yeah.
Or I can say that I was not involved.
You see now.
In the cement thing. That's what I can say.
Yeah, you see now. Isn't that a classic example of how someone can be used?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It depends on how you define abuse. I don't know what people do. But you see,
we are talking of your tipping here.
Yes.
We are talking of your tipping, that it was used to bring in cement in your name.
Apparently, yes. I don't even know my tipping myself. I've never even seen it.
Okay.
So I don't have my tipping myself.
So I'm just giving you an example. Isn't that an example that people can sometimes do things in your name without you knowing?
It's quite possible that people do or acts In the case of the cement thing, which I don't want to go into it because the matter is still in court.
Yes, yes.
All I can say, as I told you last time, that I wasn't aware
Yeah,
of that cement was being imported in such amounts.
yeah.
That's all. That's what I can say. How it was done, there have been allegations. I don't know how it was done. I've never seen the evidence.
Yeah.
I don't know who was doing it. All I know is that, in fact, I'm not involved. The first time I heard about it was, I think it was after the elections, so sometime 20 elections, when Ngeme came to me and said, Kalilan, and said, I've been called somebody from, I think from the nation, asking about the cement you ordered. So I said, which cement?
Yeah.
So he said, apparently you ordered cement from somebody. I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And tell those people that I don't know. That's the first time I heard about it.
Yeah.
You can check with Ngeme Kalilan. That's the first time I heard about this cement thing.
That's a point that I'm raising. That sometimes, if you're not careful as a leader, people can do things in your name. Do you want to agree with that assertion?
How do you stop somebody from acting in your name? How do you do it?
By constantly checking on your minders.
How do you check when somebody is operating another office from yours? How do you check what they do? Even if they're in your office, but their own computer there,
Yeah.
how do you know what they're writing there? So how do you control? How do you know? Do you know what your assistants do? They're in your next room. Can you know what they're doing? Yourself, Brian Banda. Can you know what your assistants are doing?
But as a leader,
No, answer me.
but as a leader, Your Excellency, you're supposed to be in check with your subordinates, with the people that you have employed, to make sure that they are behaving and then they're not abusing your name.
How are you supposed to check?
I don't know. You are the leader, not me.
How am I supposed to check?
Yes.
As a human being, how am I supposed to know what somebody else is doing in the next room? That's what I'm asking you. How am I supposed to know?
I think
How am I supposed to know what your assistants are doing in the room somewhere?
I think as a head of state, you have all the necessary apparatus to know what your minders are doing. But I'll leave it.
No, I think you're wrong.
I think I could be wrong.
I think you're as wrong as you can be. There's no way. There's no way anybody can know what somebody else is doing in the next room.
Okay.
There's no way.
We'll leave it there.
Do you have children?
Yes, I have kids.
Sometimes you can't even tell what your children are doing. You can't.
But as a parent,
But you're in the same
but
room
as a
in the
parent,
summer.
but as
You
a
can't
parent,
know some children.
but as a parent,
some children go there drinking. You have no way of knowing what they're doing.
yeah, but when I hear they're drinking, it's my responsibility to discipline them.
Okay, that's fine. I agree with
You agree?
Of course.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Of course I do.
Let's move on.
All right.
There is hunger in this country. President Chakwera has declared this as some districts, districts of disaster.
Yeah.
What do you think is the solution to continued hunger shortages this country faces?
You know, of course, we have the El Nino problem.
Yeah.
You know, I inherited hunger when I came in. We had 2 years of hunger, 2015 and 2016, terrible hunger. Remember, I was sending people all over the world trying to find maize. It's a real problem. Part of it is, of course, the weather, like the El Nino thing that we're going through now. That's part of it. In the future, I think, as a matter of policy, one, we want to improve the input program, to improve that, affordable, whatever they call it now, to make sure that people receive sufficient inputs. And secondly, this may sound like a cliche now, because everyone talks about it, but we need to move away from rain-fed agriculture. That's why I instituted the Shire Valley Transformation Program. When that project is completed, it will be the largest irrigation project in Southern Africa. I instituted that because I wanted us to have food security in this country, and also both food for consumption, but also for export. That's the idea. So that's a solution. I think we can control hunger. Remember, India used to have famine all the time, hunger, until 1948 when they discovered, through Indian scientists, new forms of crops, maize and so forth. Now India is self-sufficient and net export of food. So we need to do research on food. We need to look at our crops. Maize is an endangered species because maize cannot stand drought. You know, maize is not an African crop.
Yeah.
It came from Portugal, Brazil. The Portuguese brought it here from Brazil or from Mozambique. So it's not a native crop. It's not native to our conditions here. But we need to look at other forms, crops, cassava, for example. It's very resilient. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, resilient. We need to look at mapila, millet. Those kind of crops are drought resistant, and you can use those.
Okay.
In other words, we need to diversify our food consumption. That instead of relying on maize only,
Yeah.
we need to have other crops, certain cassava, potatoes,
Yeah.
millet, sorghum, wheat, all those. And those are food resistant, nandolo.
Yeah.
They're drought resistant, more resistant to adverse weather than maize. So we need to move in that direction.
Unfortunately, we don't have much time, but I've
Okay.
seen you lately with Amai moving around during the time of Ramadan,
Oh, yes.
feeding people,
Yeah.
giving people all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
Is this the beginning of your campaign?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
It's not related?
No, not at all. This is a humanitarian. I've been doing it all the time.
Okay.
When I was an MP, Choro East, we have 26 constituencies, 26 mosques.
Yeah.
I used to provide food there. Even when I was in government,
Okay.
I was assisting in Machinga and all over the country. And I was just assisting our friends here with food. And nothing to do with the campaign.
Yeah.
And the campaign cannot start now. We're 17 months away from
The campaign cannot start now.
No. We're 17 months away. I know that people are saying, oh, he should be traveling around and so forth, campaign. You cannot campaign 17 months,
Okay.
from the election. People are not going to remember what you tell them.
Yeah.
17 months from now, we'll start the campaign maybe 6 months before the
Talking
election.
about the campaign, you
Yeah.
start the campaign when?
Maybe 6 months.
6 months to the election
Yeah.
day. Okay.
Even in the United States, they're doing about 6 months before
Okay.
the election.
Talking about the
Even so.
campaign,
Yeah.
do you have the stamina to run a successful and hectic campaign,
I think
health-wise?
I think so.
Because last time you only went out 3-4 times only, I think.
Yes, you
Yeah.
know, I went out a few times because I was told from very reliable sources then
Yeah.
that the election would be postponed to September.
Yeah.
I was told that.
Yeah.
That in fact would be postponed to September, and you know, legislation was introduced illegally
Yeah.
to have the election in June. It was all unconstitutional, but I was assured that the election would not be held until September. So
that's why you only went out
I
a few
just
times.
went out because we're waiting.
Okay.
We're trying to acquire materials there and resources, and I knew we'd have June, July, August to have the campaign. And that's what happened. But coming back to your question, I think I'm strong.
Okay.
I can campaign. I feel very, very strong. I recently had a stress test.
A stress test.
From a cardiologist, yes.
Okay.
And I was told that of the heart of a 19-year-old.
The cardiologist told you have a heart of a 19-year-old.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm very strong. I exercise.
You exercise?
Oh, yes.
I've seen some gym equipment.
Indeed. On a treadmill there. In fact, you can see it from here.
Okay.
Over there.
Yes.
I walk about 10 kilometers a day on the treadmill.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So those that are doubting your strength, they should be assured that you are strong and you can manage a hectic campaign.
I think so. I think so. I know my body myself.
Yeah.
I've been in this body for 83 years.
Okay.
So I know my body.
So you can confirm in 2025 you'll be 85.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
But I can assure next year. But I can assure that I feel very strong. I tell you why. The day I feel that I cannot discharge my duties, either a candidate or president, because of my health, or whatever, I will know and I'll quit.
Okay.
I'll quit.
Okay.
I've no intention of embarrassing myself
Yeah.
or my family.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
Not for any job on earth.
Yeah.
No way.
Okay.
I cannot do that.
Okay.
So I feel fine. I think I can do a campaign.
Yeah.
As far as I know. And I feel very, very well. So I don't think there'll be any problem, really.
How is Madame Gertrude Mutharika?
Oh, she's very well. She's over there. She was here to arrange all this.
Okay. Okay.
And you decide to ignore what she arranged, and you
We wanted the elephants.
So you are an apology.
We wanted the elephants as our background.
That's right.
Last time when I asked you how often you talk to President Chakwera, you said you don't. Since then, has there been any connection between you and the current head of state, President Chakwera?
I don't really recall.
Yeah.
I really don't recall. He's a very busy person.
Okay.
And I am reluctant to. I have his number.
Okay.
And he has my number.
Okay.
And I have his, WhatsApp number, and he has mine. But the presidency is very busy.
Okay.
I just need something really important.
Okay.
Something positive that I can do. I don't see the need to distract him with my telephone calls.
Okay. Since you left State House, we haven't heard you leaving the country, unless you are leaving secretly. Is that by choice?
Yes, actually I have.
You have?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Where have you been?
I was out of the country in November.
Where did you go?
I was in Asia.
Asia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
To do what?
Personal business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have only left the country once?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
So you don't get invited like Joyce Banda,
I get invited
the
all the
former
time.
President Joyce Banda is to speak at conventions and summits?
I get invitations all the time.
So why don't you go there?
But, I just want, at the moment, I don't like to travel.
Okay.
I get involved in virtual.
Okay.
In fact, before you came, that's why I was a bit late.
Okay.
I was at a conference.
Okay.
Conference with some people in Washington. I get involved in virtual conferences all the time.
Okay.
But to travel at the moment, I just don't really want to travel. But I get invitations all the time. But I really don't really like to travel. I never like to travel anyway. That's why as a president, in 6 years, I traveled only 18 times.
Okay.
Out of the country. So I don't like to travel, not now. When I was younger, yes, but not now. That's all.
Unfortunately, we wish we had more time, but time is not on our side.
Okay.
I want you to look at that camera. There are people, your partners watching us in Washington and all other parts of the world. There are Malawians who support you and they love you.
Right.
They are supporters of your party. What is the message that you have for them tonight, Your Excellency, Arthur Peter Mutharika?
Sure. I think my message to all Malawians is that I know we're not going through difficult times. Things are difficult, but not to despair. I think the future is bright. We're now in a valley, in a deep valley, but very soon we'll be on a mountain. I think this country can be rescued. Help is on the way. I think let's wait for the next election. I think people need to look at voting very, very seriously this time, and not vote on the basis of emotion, but vote on the basis of facts, programs that the various candidates have. So my message is, hope is on the way. Don't get discouraged. Believe in God. I don't think God has abandoned us. God is still with us. And one day, this country will be rescued from misery and destruction.
Your Excellency, Arthur Peter Mutharika, fondly called APM by your supporters.
Sure.
We want to thank you most kindly for opening your house for us.
Good.
We have had a candid conversation tonight. I wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
My
indeed.
pleasure. I wish you well. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
You're always welcome to come here.
Thank you very much.
Zikombe.
Well, on that note, we have come to the very end of our conversation tonight. I was honored to host His Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Malawi, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. My name is Brian Banda, from all of us here at the Lake District of Mangochi, thanking you for joining us tonight. Until next time, it's goodbye.